Okay, I want us to consider what happened during Jesus' betrayal, his arrest, and torture and crucifixion. That night, Jesus prayed. He prayed, the Bible said, till the sweat coming out of his body was as thick as blood. And his prayer was, God, if it is possible, if there's any other way of redeeming man, let's do it. If possible, let this cup be taken away from me. But nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done. Now, when they came that night, some people used to, oftentimes we look at Peter as a coward. Peter was never a coward. There was no, I don't see any trace of cowardice in Peter's life. He was outspoken, he was a brave and courageous person. The Bible says he took out his knife and cut off somebody's ear in the midst of the crowd. He was ready for a fight. He was ready for, if we die, we die. But what was happening that night was beyond Peter's control. Have you heard of days of darkness? It was a day of darkness for Jesus. There was nothing that Jesus even told Peter, I will have 12 regions of angels ready, prepared. Like if there's any need, if that's at a point of this sacrifice, is at a point of this mission, and I said, no, I can't continue. There are 12 legion of angels prepared for extraction. Do you know Jesus had men in authorities, men well-to-do in government that were disciples to him? Have you heard of Nicodemus among the Pharisees? Jesus had support from different angles of life. Have you heard of Joseph the Arimathea? A man that went to Pilate himself, asking for Jesus' body. These men were doing all they could. I believe they were not just idle. The disciples of Jesus and those people Jesus helped, those people Jesus did miracles in their life, those people Jesus ministered to, those people that were his fans, his disciples, they were wealthy men, they were politically inclined men that were ready, and they were doing all they could to save him. But what Jesus did was he went into this room of sacrifice, into this altar of sacrifice, and shut the door against himself. I want to say it again. Jesus went into this place of sacrifice and shut the door against himself. That all the effort men did, all they could have done to take him away from doing it was futile, was useless, because he shut this door against him. It was in his heart to do the will of his Father. What am I saying in essence? It was a very big sacrifice. It was not easy, especially when you know that you can do otherwise. There are so many ways of having yourself saved from this pressure, from this situation, from this problem. But because of the will of God, for the perfect will of God to come to pass in your life, you endure. That was the sacrifice. All right? He stood. It was not easy. Even to the point that he discovered a separation between him and the Father. That was the most painful part of the sacrifice. He said, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, my Father, why have thou forsaken me? That was the height. And that was when he said, it is finished. He gave out the ghost. What am I saying? The will of the Father is the most important thing. And that's what we are enjoying today. I thank God and I thank Jesus for this sacrifice, for his brevity, and this sacrifice he paid for me on the cross. Jesus, we glorify.